Hi, Rebecca Taylor here. So, one concern when using technology in the classroom is that your students can get a little overwhelmed. So, some teachers say, I don't want to introduce a new technology tool because that's something else the students have to learn, have to figure out, have to work through. And that's definitely a concern. There can be overload when they have to know too many tools at once. So, one thing I'd recommend then is just pick one tool. Make sure the students know how to use it. Spend some time really scaffolding at the beginning what the use is going to look like, and then use that same tool in different ways to integrate that technology without it getting stale. So the tool I picked is Google Slides. So we all have Google Slides, right? Students can usually learn Google Slides fairly quickly, but take some time to make sure they understand how to organize their slides in their Drive, make sure they know how to name their slides, presentations, things like that. But make sure they know how to use it. Once they do, then you can really start using it in innovative ways. So I used the SAMR technique here to kind of list a few ideas. If you haven't yet found the QR code that talks about SAMR, you will eventually. But just some ideas. Start by modeling for substitution, right? Show them what it looks like to make a good slides presentation. If you're using it to present, make sure you point out to them that you're using images and words. You don't just have big paragraphs on the slides, things like that. When you're ready for augmentation, turn it over to the students. Let them start to use slides on their own. And again, a presentation is a good way to start that, right? They can model what you have done, and they're able to learn how to really get comfortable using slides. Once you and the students know how to use slides pretty well, then you can start using slides as modification and redefinition. So it's not just presentations now. So an example would be a storybook, right? So maybe in science, they're explaining why plants are so important for life in a story form, right? They can put it in the slides, you can print them out even and bind them if you want. Maybe they're going to go read them to the grade younger than them. You can do a collaborative slideshow, which is something you're doing on this QR code hunt. If you haven't done it yet, you will. So each student maybe is assigned one slide. In social studies, perhaps you're learning about a country. So one student's going to be responsible for finding some information about the capital. One student's responsible for figuring out what the national anthem is and where the history from that comes from. One student's going to look at the climate, whatever you want them to have, and kind of assign each slide to a student and let them do that research. Once all the slides are built, put it up in front of everyone. And as you flip through the presentation, whoever slide it is can stand up, quickly present their one slide, and sit back down. Another example is a scavenger hunt. So you would make a slides presentation, and each slide would have on it kind of what they're looking for. So I've seen this done with math, looking for shapes. So the students took their iPads outside, and the first slide said, find an example of a hexagon. And they had to, within their school community, and I think they went outside in the playground, they had to find these shapes, take pictures, and then put it onto the slide. So wherever, the slide said circle, they had to have a picture of something that showed a circle. So you could use it for something like that. But basically the idea is you don't have to change up what technology tool you're using every time. You can use the same tool and do different things with it. So I've included a tutorial here. And then all this information is on the website that you will get access to about Google Slides and how to use them. So your password for this is not the tool, and keep that in mind and continue on with your QR code hunt. Thanks.